happen worldwide. This is what's coming to America. And what's ironic about it? Well, it's not ironic. It's truthful. Is that, look who just posted about why sanctions matter. It's the World Economic Forum. Wow, you'd almost think that they were the ones in control of all this stuff. Oh, wait, they are. And here they are talking about the sanctions imposed on Russia and why sanctions are important and we need sanctions. And of course, they forget to, really talk about how it's a war on the citizens because, well, Claus knows that, but he knows that the people out there will just listen to whatever his corporation and whatever Big Brother tells him.
Sanctions are essentially restrictions on economic flows. So we can think of capital flows, resource flows, trade flows, even data flows these days. Sanctions essentially work usually in kind of three stages. First you have a threat stage when you threaten somebody with sanctions. Unless you do what I say, I will apply sanctions. That's the first stage. The second stage is then the sort of a limited use of sanctions where you signal that you're serious, I will do this, and you apply certain sanctions on a target state. And then the third stage is what we could call perhaps economic warfare. The Russian economy is now almost completely decoupled from the global economy. We see increasing, capital flight. We see, the GDP crashing down. This year, we will see technological backwardness and so on and so forth. So it takes a heavy toll on the Russian economy. We already know that fertilizer exports is hitting global food production quite badly. We can expect certain restrictions on energy exports by Russia. We have Russia being quite central in critical mineral exports, and we can expect restrictions on certain critical minerals. And that will hit, for instance, car, aerospace, semiconductor manufacturers.
So they talk about sanctions ranging, travel bans, asset freezes, trade restrictions. This is all stuff done on the citizens. How it's done in phases, the guy was talking about, right? They just picked this guy, by the way, to interview. I mean, give you a break. And then what you see is chaos going on around Russia. The citizens who had nothing to do with this, this is your government's turning on the citizens. This is what I keep trying to tell everyone out there. The governments aren't working for the citizens. They're turning on the citizens. They're bankrupting the citizens. They're putting the citizens in the position for the Great Reset on purpose. That's exactly what Biden's doing here in America. This is being done on purpose. And this is being done in other countries as well. They're going to bankrupt everyone. They are going to take everything from everyone. And then they're eventually going to shut the grid down and starve everyone. And they're going to come in heroically to save the day with giving out rations. And people will just be thrilled that they can have rations, not realizing that they've set them up for this by creating a society of people who have no skill sets whatsoever, who don't know, who take food for granted, who take water for granted, who take everything for granted. And then when push comes to shove, these people will be foaming at the mouth when they can't get their... Just think about how many people won't be able to get medicines for mental health disorders. A lot of the people who cut off their Johnny Johns. Imagine them foaming at the mouth. They're already rabid up on their graph. Just imagine. It'll be frightening. But what you're seeing in Russia right here, which I'll show you, is exactly what you're going to see here in America very soon.
Everyday Russians are starting to feel the squeeze of international sanctions from a war that some don't support. It's hard to know exactly how many support it and how many don't. But now even the most basic groceries are hard to come by in that country. And that is something that everyone is noticing. Anna Stewart has that story.
People are fighting for sugar. The words of the woman filming this video in a Moscow supermarket. The shop worker asking people to stay calm and to stop fighting. In another video posted to Telegram, you can hear shouting as sugar just arrived doesn't even make it onto the shelf before shoppers grab it. Inflation has hit more than 14% in Russia, and economist Anders Asland expects it to reach 50% by the end of the year.
When the sanctions hit, everybody wanted to cash their rubles from the bank accounts as fast as possible, and then either get hard currency and or buy goods before the prices had increased.
According to official government statistics in Russia, certain goods have seen huge price increases. Compared to last year, sugar is 37% more expensive. The prices for bananas and tomatoes are up by around 50% and rises, albeit smaller, across a whole range of household staples. What you see here, empty shelves, is largely the result of panic buying, and some supermarkets have placed limits on how much customers can buy of certain products, like buckwheat, rice, diapers and chicken. There's also the very real risk that some products may become harder to get. Many retailers have closed their doors as Western companies exit a country waging an illegal war. The world's biggest shipping companies will no longer carry non-essential cargo, and Western countries have also banned selling certain components to Russia.
Now, you might say, well, why would we see that in America? Because America's going to be going to war at some point soon with Russia. The predictive programming has been in place forever. And like I keep saying, Biden is doing his role, setting America up for war.